When the Founding Fathers returned to that room in Independence Hall in Philadelphia to write the Constitution and Canons of the Episcopal Church, the document which lays out our church governance structure, they did so after just writing our nation's Constitution in that very room. And so, as you might imagine, when tasked with writing a new Constitution for a church, they ended up making it very similar to the Constitution of the United States in some key ways. Our nation is a representative democracy. It's not a pure democracy. A pure democracy is when the citizens make all the decisions that a country needs to make. Want to allocate money for the military? Time for a general election. Everyone needs to vote about it. Want to name a new post office for someone? Time for an election. Everyone needs to vote on it. That's not how America operates. We have elections to elect representatives who will make decisions for us at the local, state, and national levels. We vote for people who we believe will make the kind of decisions that we would want to make. They represent us. We elect them, and then when it's time to allocate money for something or to name a post office, they vote on it on our behalf. Thus, a representative democracy. The Episcopal Church is also a representative democracy. Every post with inherent power and decision-making authority comes as a result of an election. I'm the rector of St. Mark's Church because the vestry of this church elected me to be rector. We have wardens and vestry members, the senior lay leaders of the church, who are elected by the parish at the annual meeting. That annual meeting of the parish also elects certain people to represent our parish at our diocesan convention. Our delegates join up with delegates from every other church in the diocese to make decisions for the whole diocese. Our bishop is elected by those same representatives. The presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church is elected by all the bishops in all the dioceses who had each been elected by their own diocese. Every major position in the church is an elected position, and lay people are involved at almost every level. Our church, like the United States, has 3 branches of governance. Like our country has an executive branch, a legislative branch, and a judicial branch, we have a presiding bishop who is our chief executive. Like the president, the presiding bishop is the face of the church and has a big role in charting the direction of where our church is going to go. Believe it or not, we have a judicial system, though it's certainly not as big as our country's. We don't put anyone in church jail. But if we did, we have a judicial system because if a priest or bishop does something that goes expressly against church law or doctrine, a trial is convened. And if they are found guilty, they might lose their position, or they might even be stripped of their ordination. And we have a bicameral legislative branch. Just like the Congress is split into the House of Representatives and the Senate, the Episcopal Church's General Convention is split into the House of Deputies, made up of lay people, priests, and deacons, and the House of Bishops, which is obviously made up of bishops. For a resolution to pass General Convention, it must pass both houses, just like how a bill becomes a law in Congress. At the local diocesan level, the diocesan convention is split between the lay people and the clergy. For a resolution to pass, both the lay and the clergy have to vote for it. And just like the U.S. Constitution, the Episcopal Church has checks and balances. This is most clearly seen at the local parish level. I'm the rector of St. Mark's Church. As rector, I'm in charge of worship, pastoral care, Christian education, and the general life of the congregation. But I don't have authority to spend a single dollar that the vestry doesn't allocate. The vestry is in charge of all financial decisions. The vestry puts together a budget, makes decisions on major decisions like replacing the church roof or repaving the parking lot. Just like Congress has the power of the purse, so does the vestry. The thing that I really appreciate about how the Episcopal Church is governed is how lay people, people who aren't ordained deacons, priests, or bishops, are trusted with decision-making power. It's not just the clergy, those of us who wear collars and robes, who get to have a say. We trust that the Holy Spirit works through all of us, and so we seek everyone's voice when a decision is to be made.